Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So I wanted to break down a lot of the new information that we learned today because there was a bunch of stuff that came out regarding the Walking Dead universe. There was an AMC summit today, or an AMC network summit or whatever, and basically they sort of talked about their vision for AMC and just the stuff happening in the future and whatnot. And obviously they talked about The Walking Dead and the franchise in general and talked about the future of all of that and stuff. And so I want to get into some new details here because there's a lot more information that we learned here. So if you are new here to the channel, make sure to hit subscribe if you do want to get all my Walking Dead content like this all season long. It does seem like the next 8 episodes, it's going to be a big roller coaster. I mean, I guess a roller coaster of emotions. There's going to be so much stuff that we're going to feel. I mean, there might be stuff that we hate, or there might be stuff that we really, really love, and then people will be crying, this and that. We did actually get some really awesome information today regarding the finale, and that is from Julian Cannon, who was at the summit today, and he can confirm that the series finale of The Walking Dead is not going to air the week before on AMC+. It's going to air on the same day for everyone. And so obviously now I guess there are some questions like, well, is it going to air at the same time? But I imagine so. I mean, if you're going to air on the same day, it makes no sense at all to air. I mean, it would just be crazy to drop it early. But I imagine on that day, there might be stuff like that happens because sometimes there's glitches in the system and something releases too early, or some other country will get it early and then it's released online. But I mean, yeah, obviously that series finale is going to be pretty epic. So it seems like on November, or not November 13th, but I guess on November 6th, I believe, we'll be watching episode 23, and then we're going to have to wait 2 weeks to watch the finale. So that's going to be a really crazy 2 weeks there. I mean, it's going to be kind of exciting, I guess, because, going into episode 23 there, for cable viewers on November 13th, really that final week there, it's going to be nuts. Going into the last episode, every single day is just going to feel so unreal, building it up. And I feel like I don't even know how I'm going to make it through that week. I mean, we actually did learn that there's actually going to be this huge marketing campaign. Julian Cannon also got that as well. That, in that last week there's going to be a huge push from AMC. And yeah, it's going to be nuts. I really, at the end of November there, I don't know how we're all going to recover, but like, obviously, as a Walking Dead fan, this is exactly what you want to see, right? You want to see these moments celebrated by fans. I think this is just very exciting. And by the way, I did want to remind you guys, definitely, if you haven't yet, go follow me on Twitch, because for that finale, for that night, I am going to be live reacting to that final episode. So that's kind of the best way I think we can sort of celebrate all of that. I'm going to do stuff like that, I guess, throughout the season as well for all the episodes. But for that finale, it's going to be a big one, because obviously with previous episodes, I'm going to be watching it earlier or whatever, but for that finale, we're all watching it at the same time. Yeah, we're going to watch the final episode together, which I cannot wait for. I can't wait for that moment. There's going to be so much hype built into that. I don't know how I'm going to even do that. I mean, I know with Comic-Con, there was such a big reaction on Twitch to like when you guys joined me there. I mean, for the final episode, it's going to be pretty emotional. It's going to be pretty, I don't know what to really expect, to be honest. I just don't really know what to expect. And so I'm really looking forward to this. So again, definitely go follow me on Twitch. The channel name is Appetite for the Dead. The link should be in the description. I'll probably be live later on today as well. But yeah, I think this is a win-win situation for the Walking Dead family. I really do believe that. Like, to actually have everyone watching at the same time at nighttime on that Sunday is just so perfect, because I talked about it with the preview special. I made a really big deal about it. Like, watching the preview special at night really made me feel like nostalgic for when I used to do that every single Sunday with The Walking Dead. And it was always so fun. I don't know if you guys remember, but like, I used to do like live streams before the episode as well, where we'd sort of talk about some stuff or whatever, and then we'd watch the episode, and then I would get to work my review, and it would drop later on that night, which, yeah, I guess that technically means that my review won't be dropping immediately. But still, I'll have my review up that night. It's going to be, honestly, a really just crazy few weeks there. Like, all of November is going to be nuts. Obviously, it's still going to be crazy going into this Sunday. But, like, as we near the end there, if there's a Rick Grimes post-credit scene, you guys will see my reaction to that as well. I think this is just phenomenal. This is everything that I wanted. Yeah, I think as fans, we can celebrate. And yeah, that's starting this Sunday on October 2nd, right? So let's actually get into some new information that we did learn here. So during this AMC summit, they actually talked a lot about the spinoffs, and they really focused on that. and a lot of stuff with The Walking Dead. What was actually said is that they can see that there is a core passionate fan base and it's still very much engaged with The Walking Dead. And AMC has found that through their subscriber base with AMC Plus, which is not too surprising. Like the core passionate fans of The Walking Dead, there's millions of them. And obviously that they're excited for each episode. They want to watch all the spinoffs. They want more Walking Dead. And so you have something like AMC Plus. Yeah, everyone's going to subscribe to it immediately because people are they want to watch the episodes early. People want it. And so, I mean, it's not too surprising, to be honest. And I think that's why AMC is going to continue with The Walking Dead stuff, because The Walking Dead is honestly something that makes no sense to sort of just let die. And there was also some criticism there as well, I think. They said something like the way Netflix was handling Stranger Things, in the sense that like Stranger Things is just going to end. And then that's just going to stay on their platform and that's it. They should be trying to figure out how they can expand with that, which I really like that thinking, because there's obviously fan bases for all of these shows, and maybe certain shows won't live up to the original show. And by the way, that's not like a rule or anything. Like, spinoff shows could be better than the original show. It's just going to take a lot of work, especially if you're doing a Rick spinoff, and it really depends on the stuff that actually happens there in that spinoff. But I think Stranger Things could do a spinoff. I totally think they could. And so I do get that. I mean, look at Marvel. Marvel is so successful. That's just the state that we're in right now with television and with movies. People like these connected universes. That's just sort of where we're at right now. Again, maybe this changes in 20, 30 years. But as of now, and I think for the next, up to 10 years, that's sort of what people are into right now. So we'll see where this goes eventually. People might get tired of it. But as of now, this is the strategy, I think, for a lot of people. And I think this is a very successful strategy for a lot of these big movie companies or television show companies, right? And we also did actually see, or we didn't see, but people in there actually saw 2 seconds of Dead City footage. And that's interesting. So I think that kind of hints that there could be a teaser on the way. I don't know when. Maybe it drops during the Walking Dead last episodes. Maybe it drops in the finale, right? We could get a teaser there, but I do expect them to release some footage, or we will get our first sneak peek at that. It really depends on how they do it, though. Honestly, I really feel like they probably should wait until The Walking Dead is over, only because I don't know how much you can really give away. Like, if you drop a full-fledged trailer, it might give away some plot points for the show, right? So again, I don't know how much you can really give away unless there's just, teases of like things unrelated to what's happening. But then again, you have to sort of give away the plot a little bit, right? Because you're going into a new show. You have to tell us what the plot of the new show is going into that first episode. So that could be a little too spoilery. So I think they probably will hold off on that. But there was 2 seconds of footage. It was very, very fast. And apparently we see Maggie slamming a table in anger. And then there's a shot of Negan smiling. So yeah, that's basically what was shown. We also did learn the working titles for these next 2 spinoffs. And that is the Daryl show is going to be called The Walking Dead Daryl Dixon Project. And the Rick and Michonne show is going to be called The Walking Dead Rick and Michonne Project. These are just working titles, not official names at all, so don't get too worked up about that. These are just the working titles that they have right now. Eventually, we will learn the titles. That's just the working titles that they have right now. And I really like that, to be honest. It's very simple. Kind of seems all sci-fi a little bit, which is kind of cool. There was also some talk about the bonus episodes and stuff, in terms of filming the bonus episodes and the story and stuff like that. And also, I guess, the story for season 11A. And it was really rough because of all the restrictions, the world was sort of in, that state that people were in then. And so I think we can all kind of forget that as well. Sometimes, like, you got to remember too, like a lot of us like to criticize, that part of the story there, like with the bonus episodes and the Reaper arc and stuff. But you got to remember, like, they had this whole thing planned out, right? In terms of how they were going to expand the universe. And then AMC was like, no, we're going to end The Walking Dead and then we're just going to do spinoffs. The plan originally was for Daryl and Carol to have their own spinoff, but The Walking Dead to continue on. And then Daryl and Carol would just come back to the show, after their spinoff was over. That was basically the plan. And obviously, how fans would have reacted with that. And I think AMC kind of knew. So I like the way they handled it, because it makes no sense to have The Walking Dead continuing on while Daryl and Carol are on their own show and Rick and Michonne are on their own show. To me, that seems so crazy, because, like, why are we watching The Walking Dead when the more interesting characters are there, right? And then imagine if Maggie and Negan got their own spinoff as well. Like, it just, like, who the hell's on The Walking Dead, right? So, like, to me, I think it's smart to end it there, end it with where the comics ended. And so this way you can actually say The Walking Dead as a television show told the whole story of the comics, which is really cool. And then you do all the spin-offs and stuff, and you sort of get into the expanded story, right, with Rick and Michonne and the Civic Republic and stuff like that. So I think that, yeah, you know, during that time there, the bonus episodes having to do that, and then season 11A finding out that it was the last season, having to cram certain storylines there and try to figure out how to transition from the end of the Whisperer arc to the Commonwealth arc, I think it just sort of threw everyone off. I really do feel like it threw everyone off. And you got to remember, all of this happened at the end of 2020, right? And so, or it was like summer of 2020, but basically there was all these restrictions and stuff like that. And so I think when you look back at those bonus episodes and season 11A, I think you do have to forgive some stuff there. I mean, there was always the choice to just not do anything, right? But you have no content going on for a while, and AMC is a business. They have to have stuff going. I mean, a lot of businesses during that time struggled a lot, right? So you have to get something out. You got to do stuff, but obviously you want to keep people safe and sort of following all those restrictions and stuff. And so there was just sort of, I think, issues with all of that. And I think we should look back on that and just be like, yeah, you know what? I think they did the best they could, basically, right? We also know that Rick and Michonne are going to be in a new location. So that this part here, I think out of everything, I guess besides the fact that the finale is airing on the same night, this is probably the second most, I guess, exciting news that I learned today. Because I've always wondered where they were going to be. I mean, I guess I always assumed they were going to be in a new location, but I always wondered if it would be in Europe or certain places. But they actually say, first of all, Daryl's going to be in Paris. So it's not just like anywhere in France. It's going to be in Paris, France. Maggie and Negan, obviously, they're in New York. They're in Manhattan. And then Rick and Michonne, they're going to be in an entirely new location. I think the rumor right now was like North Carolina or it was like Pennsylvania. Again, things could have changed because there was a lot of plans that changed. But I know that was sort of the general idea there because of the skyline that we saw in the Rick movie teaser. But again, like that was teasing the Rick movie, which has now been turned into a television show. So things could have changed, the story could have changed a little bit, but I imagine there's going to be something sort of connected there. I actually do think they might be in Philadelphia or something like that, which would be really cool. To be honest, I definitely would be really excited with that. And so, I mean, now it's just sort of all this speculation. You know, we're at the end of September here. October is just, 3 days away. The Daryl show's filming next month. In terms of the Rick and Michonne TV show, you know, we did get some hints that it's going to be filming soon. Obviously, the scripts, I'm sure, are being written right now for the episodes. They probably know what's happening in the first 3 to 4 episodes. I mean, they probably know what's happening in all 6, but I imagine the scripts for the first, second episode, and I guess probably a lot of them are probably close to being done already. There's just probably some stuff they got to kind of fix with it. I mean, scripts are never really finished, I guess. Like, even when they're filming, things are constantly changing. So obviously they're in that process, but they probably have a good outline and they know what's happening in that first episode and the last episode, right? So it's kind of exciting. I do wonder when they're actually going to start filming. My guess is probably going to be early next year, just because I don't see them, you know, if the Daryl show's filming in October, I feel like, you know, first of all, they're not going to film in December. They never do because of the holidays and stuff. And so unless they start filming out of nowhere in November, I mean, I guess it's possible, but I kind of think it's going to be early next year. They could start in January, going all the way to, I mean, it really depends, right? It depends on when they actually want to start filming this thing. So at Comic-Con next year, obviously there's going to be a trailer that drops for the Rick and Michonne TV show. So they're going to be filming something months beforehand. I believe by March, within the next 6 months, they will be filming this television show. And so then it's just all about, like, when do we learn more info about it, right? And that's the thing. There's going to be so many leaks about, like, this is Rick's first time on set. There's going to be so much stuff that comes out that I kind of hope that the social media team and stuff gets on top of, and not by, like, removing it and stuff like that, because you can't control that on the internet. But maybe, like, as soon as he takes his first step onto the set, gets into costume, take a photo of him when he first gets on set and then post it and be like Rick Grimes' return, Andrew Lincoln's, you know, first time on set since his departure as on The Walking Dead sort of thing. I think that's probably the smartest decision that they could do there. But anyways, yeah, that's everything that we learned today at the summit. There's a lot of exciting things here. They focused a lot on the future. But yeah, I'm hyped for The Walking Dead's future. I'm excited to sort of close everything out here. And I think the next couple of months are going to be so much fun. Oh, honestly, the next year is just going to be really crazy because, like, I can't wait for Rick to return. But anyways, I'm going to leave it here. Post all your thoughts down below. Hope you all enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.